Hello, 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 my dear listeners. Welcome back to another episode of Hearts Unlocked. If you're new here, welcome to the family of Hearts Unlocked. Before we proceed to today's episode, please do subscribe to my YouTube channel, Hearts Unlocked Podcast. Follow me on my Instagram channel, Tasty Travel and Talks, for more content. For those who are Spotify fans, you can listen to my podcast on Spotify as well. It's available at Spotify, Hearts Unlocked Podcast. Please do follow me on Spotify and give it a 5-star rating, as it would motivate me to create more content for you guys. I'm your host, Veronica, and today's episode is all about personal growth, self discovery, and the journey of spirituality. Let's welcome Durga to the show. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm awesome. I know we have been like talking every single day for an hour or two, sometimes more.
Oh,
So,
the record is 4 hours, by the way.
oh, the record is 4 hours. Oh, wow. Oh, I guess we lost track on time.
Yeah, that's what happens whenever we connect.
That's
Isn't that
funny.
great?
Uh, yeah, it is actually great. The connection we have, it's just allows us to lose track of time. So first of all, we are talking because I personally know you since 7 years.
Oh,
So I don't know, I can keep on,
7 years?
yeah, it has been almost 7 years. It's going to be seven
Wow.
in exactly Feb.
So can I call you my family now?
Of course you can. I mean, till date, I'm not considered as your family? Question mark?
Oh, wow. That's just a random quote I read online. Once a friend is 7 years old, they turn into a family or something.
That is obviously a random quote because it's not necessary you need to wait for a friend to turn 7 years to be.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
I agree with you.
So, Durga, let's first introduce yourself to our listeners because that's when they'll get to know more about you and what are you and maybe how did we know each other. We'll start with that and we'll go deep into more about yourself.
So, as Veronica said, I'm Durga, and I think I met you when we were working together for a company, and then we worked together on a project, and we started hanging out together, and then we started going on trips together. And I realized I've got a buddy that I can go on trips with. Usually, I don't. I have a problem with people when I travel. A lot of times, a lot of things happen, and with you, I never had those issues. And our friendship just grew after that. And about my personal things, I think we'll talk about some things, and there are some things that I'm not comfortable discussing, where I work, which organization, or what I do. But I can say that I'm a working professional currently.
Yeah, sure. Of course, we do not need to disclose the organization name and stuff. But
Yeah, I'm not giving an interview, right?
of course. So, more, this is how we met. Yeah, of course, we met in my first organization. And I'm not sure which end number of organization was yours when you joined in that organization.
I think third organization, you're being first. And I'm right now with a fourth organization. I switched companies and I'm not working with Veronica anymore. And I miss her so much.
Oh, I miss you too. Although we do have hours of conversation.
Yeah, but working together, spending about 10 hours to 11 hours every day.
That's a different kind of a kick, though.
Yeah.
So apart from us, yeah, that's how we met and how we connect. Apart from us, more about you. I mean, what type of person you are, and uh, more about the things you went through or now you are going through. Before you met me, what
Oh,
what was Durga, and after you met me, what are you and now what are you? So
Maybe we'll hold the conversation of what I am right now to the end of the conversation.
okay.
We'll start with what I was before.
Mm-hmm.
I think when I met you, um, I was a sensitive person.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still a sensitive person, but at least I've started to embrace my sensitivity instead of seeing that as something negative. I was pointed out a lot by a lot of people that it's a negative quality that's in me, that I'm not sensible and I'm too much sensitive. But I think I'm sensible enough, but I'm also sensitive. I was a people pleaser.
Okay.
Always yes sir, yes madam. And somewhere I think I've lost my identity. I've started telling things, yes to things where I think I didn't enjoy much.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, a lot of self esteem issues, confidence issues, and all of that, which I was battling, I think, when I met you. And I was also in a bad relationship when I met you.
Mm-hmm.
You have seen me constantly on calls, fighting all the time. So you've seen me doing that. So yeah, that was my life when I met you, Veronica.
Okay. So what are you? So if it's like people, if they say, okay, Durga, so what are you? So like if you were say, oh, I'm this, I mean, how would you explain yourself or how would you introduce yourself?
Right now,
Uh-huh.
I think I would introduce myself as this awakened lady, an awakened girl who has, understand the nuances of life. She has started holding. Holding her boundaries tight. She does things that she likes. She doesn't do what she doesn't like, no matter how much you pressurize her. And I love myself so much because I think if I don't love myself, I can't love anybody else. And my self esteem is high, my confidence level is high. And the fact that I'm having this conversation with you shows that I'm a changed person, because the girl had a lot of confidence issues when she met you. But right now she's so confident with everything that she does, and if she likes doing it. So I think that's what I love helping people out, since I have become this stronger version of me, a better version of me. I have found what do you call my happiness in helping other people finding the light at the end of the tunnel. That's what I can say about me, the current me.
Okay. Wow. It's actually quite a transformation on, what are you back then and what are you now. That's actually quite a transformation. I mean, you just mentioned saying that you used to say yes to what you didn't enjoy. You were a people pleaser, and like you received comments stating that being sensitive is negative. So how did you dealt with all of that, and how did the transformation happen from that Durga to this Durga?
I think in that first I would say that I had to learn how to accept myself. There are things that I wanted to change, but that there were things that I didn't want to change, and either you can change or accept how you are. So the sensitive nature is something that is there since I think since the time I was a child. And I wanted to embrace that side, because that side helps me connect with people on a very deeper level, on an emotional level. I can understand their pain. I can show empathy to people who are in pain. I can help them. I can guide them. So that's in a way my superpower. This didn't come easy though.
Okay, so now as you mentioned that you want to help people who are in pain and everything. So how do you, say, or how do you, what do you call this? And it's not good to use the word label, but how do you see yourself in just one word?
Remarkable.
Remarkable. Okay, I love this because I know how did it, the story behind it. So
I know you know that, but let's not uh, disclose.
yeah, so hence, yeah, of course, we are not going to disclose it here. So hence,
Yeah.
you love helping people and stuff. So are you, like, doing it right now, or if you are, how do you do that? I mean, in what ways you help people? How do you go about with that? I mean, I can
So
share my story here. You helped me in a lot of ways, but I would, I and my listeners would like to listen it from you.
I was in a very bad shape when I had joined this new company that I'm working with currently.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody saw me, the dull version of me, because I was going through a low phase during that time. So everybody saw me in this dull version, and then after few months, they see me glowing up. They see me they see the stronger version of me, and that's when people approach me. And with regards to anything, I have handled people's relationship issues. I've handled people's um, self-esteem issues and so on. I mean, I get calls from people who are, I think, probably friends of friends. They have been referred by my friends or my colleagues, and that's how they get to know me. They call me, they reach out to me. I'll have a conversation with them. Sometimes one session is enough, sometimes multiple sessions. And the day they reach out to me and they tell me the help that they received has bring an immense change in their life, and they have started to enjoy their life, is what drives me to help more and more people.
Wow. Okay. You help a lot of people. So basically, are you like a love guru, life coach, or what is that?
I don't know exactly how to label it. It's just I have some lessons that I've learned from my life.
Mm-hmm.
I've worked on my self-esteem issues. I worked on everything that is, related to my personality, whether it's mental, spiritual, everything that I worked on. And I think I've also worked on, sorry, I just went in another zone. Could you please repeat your question?
Okay, I mean, it's okay. I mean, if you want to continue, you can just continue with your flow, and I will, take you back to the question if I need it.
Yeah, ask me the question. I'll continue from there. I forgot to answer. I'm so sorry. I have ADHD, and sometimes it just happens that I go in a different direction.
No, it's totally fine. So I was asking you, how do you, label yourself? So are you like a love guru or a life
Okay.
coach, or what do you, call yourself as?
I can help with most of the problems that you face in your general life, because everything boils down to very small things. It could be your ego issue, whether it is how you deal with something emotionally, how you perceive life, whether it's your work, whether it's relationship, whether it is you yourself. It's basically how you perceive life, how you perceive things. So I can help you with that. I can definitely not help you with your legal matters, because I remember there's this friend who reached out to me, and initial part was to help him build his, the mental side of him, because he was all broken after, he had a very rough marriage and he was all broken. I helped him, but the later part was something that the law authority had to deal with. So that's where my expertise ends. I can help you with anything, is basically what I say. Can I have whatever I've learned from my life? I can, probably say you a thing or a two to help.
Okay, that's actually great. So, uh, with whatever you have learned, so obviously you would have, uh, got some help. So, well, where did you got this help from? If I may ask, if you were willing to disclose that, if it is okay.
Um, I cannot definitely say the name for obvious reasons that if I say the name, then I'm disclosing my own identity. But the first person to help me was a life coach,
Mm-hmm.
and I was, because I was in a lowest phase, and whatever the therapist, I did go to a therapist,
Okay.
and therapist recommended me to go out, have fun with friends, and do things that I love, which I was actually doing. uh, but I think nothing was helping me at that point of time, and I think I needed something which is above therapy. I think I needed to have a discipline in my life. That's when I thought about this life coach who was also a colleague in a previous organization. And other than his help, I've also done a lot of self help things where I was a curious person. So I used to figure out how to deal with this, how a particular problem. And I used to apply that solution in my life, and I used to see it work. At the same time, my life coach helped me a lot. And in fact, he gave me a time period that it will take about 12 months for me to be the better version of me that we both have pictured. But within 4 months, I think he saw me reaching that level, and he said, I don't need any more sessions from him, which was, I don't know, it still surprises me when I think of it, that instead of 12, I just took 4 months. But after that, my journey continued for about, I think it took me about 18 to 20 months to completely feel like I am in charge of my life.
Okay. So, I mean, that's actually amazing. When your life coach suggested 12 months and you could do it in four, that's a very, very huge improvement. And I'm pretty sure your life coach was very impressed. And apart from your life coach helping, you did a lot of research on your own. I
Yeah.
personally uh, know whatever you have done. So just walk me through all over again on whatever you have done since the start till now, whatever you're doing. I know, I mean, at start you just used to share things with me on, hey Veronica, I'm doing this, and this is the result which I ended up, and it's amazing. And to be more precise, I just used to listen to you because I don't want to hurt my best friend. I'm like, okay, she's doing something and it's working for her, it's very good, although I don't think it's going to personally work for me, or I don't think it's not going to, I mean, I don't think it's going to work at all. That was my
Mm-hmm.
perception like a couple of years ago.
Okay.
But I was like, okay, I need to give her the respect she needs, and I need to be there for her as a best friend. So I'm just going to listen. And
Um,
I'm very sure I didn't give you any advice. The only thing I used to do is just listen.
I mean, that's the best thing that you could do at that point of time, because sometimes you don't need expert advice. All you need is somebody to just listen. And at that point, I think uh, that's all I wanted, for someone just to listen to me of the experiences that were shaping my life. So when my journey started with my life coach, there were things that were happening to me on the personal level. I went slowly went into spirituality. He started telling me how, how being grateful helps your, with having positivity in your mind. And with that, my journey started, and I started getting more and more spiritual grounding. I think I also started to do get into not the religion aspect of it, but I think I got close to the DT Krishna, uh, and the teachings that he shared with people, and I started to apply those teachings as well. Then I think. the first thing that I did in my life was to have gratefulness, to have gratitude in my life for about everything. That was a practice. And when I started on day one, even for, to figure out what are those three things that I can share with my life coach, three things that I'm grateful about. It took me a while from there to now, where I think I'm grateful about anything. Even if things don't go my way, I'm still grateful about it, because okay, something greater will happen out of it. And a lot of things like holding my boundaries, saying yes or no to people. I think situations were driving in such a way that I was bound to say yes or no. I got caught up with my life, with so much work, that I started telling no to people. Then people started leaving my life because, they didn't like me saying no to them now, because all this while I have been saying yes to them. And that's when I realized that, some people leave your life, and that's good for you. I've heard about vibrations, that when you emit certain vibrations, the people who don't match the frequency that you're emitting will leave your life. So you have to let people go so new people can come. So I understood that you make your own tribe, and a lot of other concepts. I think, I've learned a lot in 20 months, and it would be very difficult to sum it up in just, few words here and there. But a lot of things that I had to do and went through. So you can, because since you've heard me talking about it, you
Mhm.
can probably ask me anything specific and we'll go ahead with it.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, there are a lot. So let's start with the small ones first, and then let's go to the big transformations and big things which, you know, happen in your life. So the first thing you said, you or you got to struggle to get the things which you're grateful for to, tell it to your life.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what were the three things you were grateful for back then? When you were struggling, what did you come up with?
I think, my life coach was, he gave me few things to be grateful about, such as my breath, such as I'm alive right now,
Mm-hmm.
and I have a house to live. I don't sit on the roads. I have a job. I earn. I'm an independent woman. A lot of things that I can be actually grateful for. Um, from there, I think I've slowly started to, kind of understand where is he taking me from here. And then I understood that, okay, then I found new reasons to be grateful for, such as, I have spectacles. So, I have the privilege of having spectacle, because not every blind person can afford a spectacle. I can. So, a lot of other things. I'm in a job where everything is great. My organization, my manager, my team, my work. I have a work life balance. So, slowly, slowly, I started figuring out there were actually n number of reasons. If you actually want to find out how many reasons you have, um, you will find those many reasons. If you focus on negativity, you'll find 100 reasons to be negative in your life. But if you actually start focusing on the positive aspects of life, your brain will try to give you more and more reasons that you can be grateful about.
Yeah, yeah, obviously. I mean, I did learn it from you thanks to your life coach. He taught you and end up, it's like a, what do you call it, as cycle or something, pass it on, and you ended up passing it on to me.
Yeah.
I'm
Don't
like,
you think that's amazing? The gratefulness, when you do that gratefulness, you feel this positive surge of emotions that goes in your body, that feeling, then your mood lightens up, you're all smiling about
you know,
things, though things are not going your way sometimes.
no, actually, at first I was very, very skeptical about it. I was like, okay, if you just think positive, and just in your snap of fingers, does positive just happen? I used to be like, oh, this is just some nonsense, stupid stuff. But when I was like, when you asked me to try it once, I do not know how
Hmm.
many couple of years ago, you just like, why don't you give it a try? And I was like, okay, let's give it a try. It's nothing to lose. That is when
Yeah.
I started, and I was like, oh, it feels different. I mean, it's like maybe my body got used to all the past trauma, negativity, or whatever I went through in the past. So it was a whole new different feeling for me, and I couldn't even identify what the feeling was. The only thing I can think of is it's different. It is not the normal feeling which I always felt. It is different, and I felt weird at first. Then
Okay.
yes, I did. Came back and shared it with you, stating that hey, I felt weird. I felt different. But after that, from there, you were like, okay, why don't you embrace it? Why don't you feel it? Why don't you uh, I mean, learn or feel where it is coming from, and you like, why don't you do grounding techniques and everything? That's what taught me through. And now I'm in a stage where I have a whole huge box beside me. It's always beside me, wherein I always write the things I'm grateful for, fold it in a piece of paper, and I put it in the box. So I started at the start of the year, and it's now almost end of the year, and the huge box is almost full. So that's thanks to you.
I'm actually glad to do that. Like you're saying that you had nothing to lose, so you tried.
Mhm.
In my situation, I had nothing at all. I had no idea how to live my life. I was clueless. I had no direction. Where am I heading? No planning at all. And I trusted my life coach, and I did exactly what he asked me to do. That's the only option that I had at that point of time. That, okay, he's helping me walk right now, so let me learn how to walk. So later I can probably run. But for now, I'll have to do whatever he asked me to do and exactly how he asked me to do. And there were times when I had to, like asked you to embrace it. I understood that I had to sit and process my emotions, and
Mhm.
not just the daily emotions that I'm having, but I realized that there's so much of trauma that is stored inside me and that I have not dealt with, because, as per my life coach, we divert because we don't want to deal with it, and because dealing with it is much more painful. It's a hard work. But as and when I started to sit with it, and it's actually hard work, uh, a lot of hard work, where you sit with it and you actually process your emotions first, and then I ask myself a lot of questions: from where did it come? Okay, what emotion is attached to this trauma? Is it anger? It is helplessness? Or is it just plain sad? So understanding that emotions, then dealing with it. If I'm sad and if I feel like crying, I don't stop myself and I just end up crying. If I'm angry or frustrated, I try to move my body, and the best thing that I do is dancing. So this is also something that I've learned in the process, that you have to first sit with your emotions and not intellectualize it, and then start. Once you processed it, and it took me about, I'll tell you, roughly 5 to 10 seconds to actually feel those emotions inside, for it to go out of my body completely. And then I would sit and analyze, from what was this, how did it happen, and everything, and the forgiving aspect, where I had to sit and forgive everybody who has hurt me directly or indirectly, and a lot of other things that I did. So it was a lot of hard work. But now I think I'm more used to it. If somebody triggers me, I first of all understand if it is that person's problem or if it's my problem. So sometimes it's just the person is a negative person and I don't want to be around negative people. So that kind of triggered me. Or there are times when that person triggered something in me that I was not aware about or dealing with it, and I had to sit and deal with it. So every time somebody triggered, that was a lesson for me. Okay, now I have to sit with it. Now I have to understand this. From this, a lot of awareness has come within me. My life coach has also taught me how to be in the present moment to make the most of it. So whenever I am with you or anybody, I give it my 100%. And yeah, along with this, a lot of other things that I've done.
Wow, you actually did a lot. I mean, obviously you can't, you know, explain everything you did in this podcast, but personally, I've seen you and your transformation from what you were like 5 years ago and what you are now. It's a huge difference. And as a person who has been with you, so I kind of know the difference. But would you like to share what are the grounding techniques you have done, or at least just one or two? Obviously, you do not need to share everything. Just one or two important techniques which you have shared. Maybe it will help the listeners out there who are going through the same thing and they do not really know how to do some grounding techniques.
So the immediate uh, thing that I can do is use my five senses.
Okay,
You see,
how do you use that five senses?
so it's about five things that you can see, four things that you can hear, three things that you can touch, uh, or two things that you can feel, or and one thing that you can taste, something like that. So I do that a lot.
Mm-hmm.
That's the first thing when I do, because that helps me instantly bring back, if I'm overthinking, if I realize that I'm overthinking, or if I realize that I'm a little bit of anxious right now about something that is, that is about to happen somewhere. I'll do this, the first thing. And the second thing is deep breath. I'll focus on my breath, and with every time I breathe out, I will release all the tension. So these are two handy things that works for me every time. There are 100 things that you can actually find out online that will help you, but I think these two help me a lot instantly.
Perfect. I mean, there are a lot of things online, or maybe a lot of things which work for you might not work for others, and which might work for others and not for you. But these are the two main things which really work for you. And when it comes to me, I I really didn't know how did I started back then. How did I even start, grounding techniques and stuff? But for now, I just go to meditative state and focus on my breath. That is the main part which I do. But yeah, I should try this 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 thing which you have just said. That is something interesting.
Okay. And what else do you do other than, whatever I've just mentioned?
So usually the first thing, I do overthink a lot, but thank God it has reduced a lot. I used to be like 120% of a overthinker, but now it has been maybe like 10%, 10 to 15% now what I am right now at.
Okay.
But this 10 to 15%, I feel so much relief because I know what I was before. Like 120% is so huge. Every single situation, I used to think so many possible.
Possibilities.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
For example, I, for example, I lost my pen on the way to my school. I would be like, oh my God, I lost a pen. Oh my God, my dad is going to scold me. Oh my God, I might not get another pen. Oh my God, I might miss my exam. Or what if in the process of searching a pen, I might miss my school bus and I would be late to school. So it's like a ripple effect, with one situation, I end up thinking so much into the future.
That's the thing about being aware is, At least I have seen that I get to know instantly when I'm feeling an emotion. It's in very instant. If I'm getting angry, I know that right now I just started to feel this emotion inside my body.
Mm-hmm.
What will it help me is with when I'm talking to somebody. Earlier what I used to do is I used to just lash out at people. You try to kind of question me, I'll get angry and I'll just say a few things to you. But now that I know that I'm getting angry, I am calm in that point of time. I know I should not be talking right now, uttering anything, because whatever I'll utter right now, I think will backfire. And what I do is I escape from the situation. I go and sit with my emotion. I dance, I move my body, punch my pillow to take out that anger. And then only when I'm calm, I come back and I have an open conversation with people. I mean, I have had difficult to difficult conversations with people, and it worked because I understood what do I feel at what point of time. If I'm trying to explain you something and you don't understand, I used to get angry before, but now I
Mm-hmm.
know from a different perspective that it's okay if the other person doesn't understand. It's okay if I repeat it twice or thrice now. And there are so many things that I've learned, that it's okay to do certain things. It's okay to do XYZ. And yeah, that helped me a lot.
That's great. To answer your previous question, what else I do apart from, the meditation and stuff, I'll try to calm myself by listening to some, calm, cool music. Or I shall just sleep down on the floor, flat on the floor, and just I will feel the cold um, tiles, or I will try to feel my body on the floor. So that's what I do right now, and I still do a couple of more, but these are the main things which I do.
I remember, I think I started with meditation before I got into, doing the grounding techniques. It
Mm-hmm.
was first meditation for me, where I used to do meditation before I used to go to sleep. And it started from 5 minutes. And coming from me, who's an ADHD, who has ADHD, it's very difficult for me to sit still at one point. So I had to make it interesting. Started with 5 minutes, and then I could go up to 1 hour. And at one point I realized that there are no thoughts that are floating in my mind. Initially I used to have a lot of thoughts, and it's okay to have a lot of thoughts, but from there to reaching a point where my mind is just blank, it felt better, because if I do that before I go to sleep, then my sleep cycle has improved. I've not got much time to do meditation these days, but meditation can also be in the form of enjoying something, like being in nature, or I just sit still, like you mentioned that you lie down. I sit, and with no phone, no technology around me. I don't listen to songs. It's just I sit with my own thoughts to observe what thoughts come up, and that is also a form of meditation for me. Anything that probably helps you.
True. I mean, see, one thing helps you, the other thing helps me. So, when people perspective, and the first thing when you say meditation, the only thing comes into their mind is like sitting still, meditating, and you shouldn't have any thoughts in your head. But initially, this is again, you are the one who walked me through this, stating that, hey, it's okay. Initially, you will get thoughts in your head, and let that flow. Let it flow, like sheeps are. When you're counting your sheeps when you're going to sleep. So let it flow. Just let the thought come. Let it sit there, and let it go. And At first, again, this was very new to me, letting a thought sit there. I tried that a couple of days, and now I am in a state where, as you said, sometimes my brain, yes, it still goes to somewhere else and a thought pops up. Sometimes it's totally blank and nothing pops up and it's very peaceful. And
Okay.
that's again, meditation is differ from person to person. Sometimes meditation can be sitting at one spot, and sometimes meditation can be just enjoying the nature or enjoying your favorite song. Let it be a smooth song, or let it be a some good beat song, or whatever works for all of you guys. So
That, reminds me of this. So we have this monthly challenge where you have to, meditate every day for about a month in the organization that I'm working currently. And the best part about this is I learned that it's okay to, let your mind wander. So there was this meditation session that I had on the first day itself, I think this year. And the person asked us to let our mind wander wherever it wants to wander, for how long it wants to wander. And that helped me because my mind stopped wandering as soon as I asked my mind to wander. And even if it wandered, I allowed it to, and I observed it from a third party perspective of where is it going? What is it doing there? And how long it wants to. I was not in a rush to bring it back to my breath or something. I was like, okay, you want to be in this moment. And then it jumps to another moment. And I'm like, okay, this is also fine. And that was, I think I started to enjoy meditation more because my thoughts have gone down. The moment you ask your mind, what's your next thought? Your mind is now confused. It will not give you any thought for at least few seconds. And if you ask your mind to wander wherever it wants to wander, it gets confused. And for some time at least, I don't have any thoughts. I don't have any moments in my mind, any picture in my mind for about some time.
it's basically like a small kid, when you stop a toddler or a child, telling them, hey, you are not supposed to do that. And obviously, eventually, they will be ending up doing that. But if you tend to like give them the freedom, that is when, they will be in control maximum. So that's how I guess the brain works. Correct me if I'm wrong.
You're absolutely correct.
That is how it is.
Well, folks, we are wrapping up this episode here. Today, we have explored the power of letting your mind wander and observing your thoughts as a third person, just as Durga did. It's very transformative practice that can bring a lot of clarity, if I may say, and self-awareness. This is again differ from person to person, as we have mentioned in the podcast multiple times, but we would like to hear it from you. Do you have any other things which you do, or did you give this a try? If you do, just do let us know. What did you observe? What insights did you gain from it? Share your experience with us. We are excited to hear your side of the story, your point of view. And don't forget to tune in next time for episode 2 with Durga, where we dive in even deeper into her journey and uncover more wisdom together. Until then, stay curious, keep exploring. Thank you so much for being part of today's podcast, and we'll catch you next time on Hearts Unlocked podcast. Till then, stay safe, take care. Bye bye, signing off, your Veronica.